We are popping things off in game number 1.
Immediately kicking things off on Blackburn.
Let's go!
Terran map. We're over here in the bottom right-hand corner, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. A red Terran player, currently playing from Korea, but originally from Guadalajara, Mexico. He is going to be representing SciStorm Gaming. Everybody get your Doritos. It is SpeCial. Juanito.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Peruvian Zurich player hailing from one of the best teams out there, from the Cranky Ducklings. It is El Condor. It is Ryu.
I personally hope to see a wave of Doritos for Juanito. And a wave of blue for El Condor Ryu.
Exactly. Every single one of our players has a copy pasta set up for them. And oh my god, let's see them in the chat. Dorito or blue. And oh god, as you were saying, I'm really scared of him. Because I'm really scared for him, I should say. Because he's up against SpeCial Blackburn. He didn't veto Blackburn? Ryu, mate.
He is either really brave or really foolish to let this slip through the vetoes, mate. Maybe he just knows something that we don't.
Like, look, I love Ryu. I love him so goddamn much. But he does have I don't know if it's overconfidence or he just wants to make it harder for himself. Like, he doesn't veto Jagannatha or Romanticide against Protoss. He doesn't veto Blackburn against Terran. It's like, mate, what's going on? Like, again, I've seen Ryu struggle on Blackburn against people like Terran or Chaos Fate, even Kelazur. Like, god, it can be so difficult to hold against these Terran pushes.
Yeah, he's a bit of a masochist, but I guess that kind of comes from the territory of
That's very true.
Italy. Question mark. Either Italy or Peru.
Italy and Peru put together, mate. Oh, that combination is just... he loves it. Oh god. As so far we have pretty standard openers. Again, Blackburn isn't a map that we see too often. I believe, is this the first time we're seeing it today? Oh, no, second.
I don't think so. I believe we saw a CBC of it. Yeah, Demi versus Mio Maika, our very first match of the evening. That was
true.
Hours ago. 11 hours ago.
It was 11 hours ago. But yeah, we don't see this so often. Thankfully, we do see it another time here today in our broadcast. We've been live for 11 hours, fun fact, and we're just gonna keep on going and keep on going.
May as well.
May as well, mate. And what we were alluding to is that this map has a couple of very interesting features. Obviously, there are the gold bases if they come into play. Yeah, the mule does. No wasted resources there.
Bit, yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
It was intentional. But of course, the biggest one is the short rush distance by ground.
Absolutely. Tank pushes are devastating on this map, and it just so happens that SpeCial is a Terran player who is fond of his tank pushes.
He is. He's fond of everything, mate. That's the dangerous thing about SpeCial. He's so well-rounded in every way. He's a GSL Code S level player. He is a terrifying opponent, and this is what I expected. Both Ryu and Eric have been playing a lot with roaches, especially on a map like this, because, mate, you need everything you can just to defend. Also, roach pushes themselves benefit from this map.
Absolutely, especially once you get a bit of a creep highway going. We've seen plenty of players. I think another one of our Cranky Ducklings, Oreo, has been able to show off the power of roaches on Blackburn, although I believe that was a ZVP.
It was. I mean, you know, ZVP, ZVT,
wow.
Like, it works on both. Specifically on a map like this, on the shorter maps, whether it's a map like Blackburn, Beckett Industries, Lightshade is another big one. But we'll see how things go here. As Ryu does go for a bit of a scout, he does confirm the 1-1-1 opening. He confirms that the Tech Lab is researching, so he is well aware of the Cloak Banshees.
I wonder how often Ryu plays against BC openings, but yeah, I have to wonder whether or not that's at the back of his mind. Does confirm that the research is finishing up for SpeCial, so yeah, only have to worry about Banshees for now.
Exactly, and right now we already have a spore in every single mineral line. We even have an extra spore going to be in between the third base and the natural that will protect the transferring workers from both bases. And ooh, the queens get a nice surround. Ooh, the Banshee does get just out of range of the spore. Oh, no. Be careful.
Yeah, almost losing a queen unnecessarily. Protection not quite in range yet. Some roaches are starting to come out, and this is a very important scout for special.
Yeah.
Now that he knows that, now that he knows that roaches are coming his way, he may or may not decide to go a little bit more defensive. I feel like Special is confident enough in his ability to go for a push regardless, but he knows at the very least he needs more tanks out.
Oh yeah, and he's going to be working on them. Tech Lab on that factory, as we all know, is for those tanks. Meanwhile, the Banshees actually find a little bit of damage now that 2 of them do come out. We do need a little bit of mobile detection. The Queens don't fall, but we did end up losing 3 drones in total.
Not bad damage here.
Ooh, at the same time, a couple of Hellions try to slip into the base, but there are roaches to defend the mineral line, as well as these creep tumors. And as we were saying, well, what the big thing that Special is going to try and hit is this timing here with 1-1 going double engineering base relatively early.
Oh yeah, once you're able to establish your foothold across the map, it's really hard for the Zerg player to really break that, even with roaches. That said, since Ryu is going for roaches, again, he may be a lot more active on the map, right? He has the opportunity to catch out these tanks as they make their way across the very short rush distance.
Yeah, exactly, and this makes a lot of sense as well. Special expanding towards his opponent. That's going to be a nice foothold for him to just keep up that pressure, as we do have a double drop coming out across the map. I'm a little bit concerned because we don't have too much vision here for Ryu. He does have a spotter overlord just outside the base. Will he be able to respond in time, as his queens are out of position trying to deal with that Banshee?
Here's hoping as the medevacs moves forward past that speed zone. Every Marine is going to land. How much damage will Special be able to get done? There are no Banelings. That's kind of the downside of going for roaches this early. You are forgoing some slash damage.
Exactly.
Biles, unfortunately, aren't the most
Oh my god.
reliable.
And meanwhile, the Queens and the Ravagers are being focused down. This drop is dealing so much damage. Unfortunately, Ryu just wasn't expecting this. Wasn't anticipating. He does force the pickup, but this drop got a lot of value.
Absolutely. A lot of lost mining time, a couple of Queens, even some Ravagers here.
Yeah, and just quickly checking here on the battle report, 4 Queens went down and a single Ravager in that engagement. Beautiful trade, only for a handful of Marines. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to be dealing even more damage. A couple of creep turrets get taken out. Thankfully, the Ravagers finish up just in time, so can't get too much else.
Look how close the creep is to Ryu's side of the map right now.
Yeah.
Especially just continuing to make sure that Ryu can't get that highway up and running.
Well, the problem is that 4 Queens died, which means, like, what creeping Queens do we have? Right now, all the Queens are injecting, and we haven't seen any replacement Queens from Ryu, so the creep spread is going to leave much to be desired. And, mate, here comes the follow-up. Here come the reinforcements of Special.
Yeah, Special doesn't even bring his tank with this. He's confident enough in his ability to not necessarily fight against this army, although he will fight it regardless.
Yeah, he will. He will slim on forward. He gets one of the Ravagers. The Banshees come in as well to flank the Ravagers.
And keep them all the way back, and Overseer only now being more for Ryu.
Oh.
The Biles don't land!
They do not
Special
land.
dodger step right in the nick of time.
Exactly. What's important is that the Spore that was here earlier was sniped by Special as well. The Queens can't contend against these Banshees either, and Special, mate, he's just getting further and further ahead here.
That's some fantastic Banshee control. Yeah, Special continuing to get further and further ahead, as you were saying. Hasn't really taken any damage on the Marines. Couple of Banelings out now. Decent connection here for Ryu, but Special still has twice the army supply.
Yeah, exactly.
And he hasn't even pushed out with his main army. There's the main army.
And this is what we were afraid of on Blackburn. It doesn't take long to just bring this entire army over. The tanks, the Marines, the Marauders. GG gets called, and Special takes game number 1.
Very convincingly, too. I have to agree with AJ Skater here.
ARJ.
I feel like that game, ARJ, yeah. I knew I was missing a letter there. I feel like that game came down to the fact that Ryu did not take that gold base.
True, Kappa. Oh, God. But it's one of those things where I'm like, mate, it's a best of 3. It's not a best of 5. The hell are you vetoing? Because Blackburn, I don't want to say it's like a free win for Terran. It's not. But it does give Terran a lot of advantages, and to allow that veto through in a best of 3, like, it's, you got to come out with something special there if you let it through.
Yeah, I get it.
Completely unintentional, but sure. Yeah. Awful, mate, awful. And Special, mate, he brought it, and now he is up in this series 1-0.
Un omas.
Sí.
Un momento.
What I will say about that previous game is that our Zerg player, like, he was, like, trying to keep up. You could see, like, you know, there were spores, there were queens, there was an army there, but it was just barely not enough to keep up with Special. Just barely.
Pretty much. I mean, it was kind of barely not enough to keep up with Special, but once that drop came in, I feel like that was the beginning of the end. Needed some vision there. But that was game number 1. We are loading into game number 2 on Romanticide LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Peru, playing from the land of Italia. He is going to be representing ourselves, and we are going to keep this unbiased as possible. He is representing Cranky Ducklings, El Condor Ryu.
The Street Fighter, man. And spawning in the top left, but also with a proxy in the center of the map. He's going to be mining through the middles. Oh my god. We have the Mexican Terran player. He is red, representing Storm Gaming, the Latin America champion himself for how many years in a row. It is SpeCial.
So I had this whole thing planned in my head, light of how, you know, we just started on Blackburn, very short rush distance, advantage to the Terran player, but now on Romanticide, much larger map, advantage to the Zerg player, and SpeCial decides, you know what, I don't want a long game. It does get scouted though.
It does get scouted. So great response. I mean, well, at least Ryu has a chance to respond now. He's well aware of what's coming his way. What I was about to say is that typically when we see a Terran proxy here, it's usually on the other side of this mineral wall. And it's the same concept, right? Where you mine out these minerals and then the Marines can just rush on through towards your natural base. I think this is the first time I've seen it here on the left-hand side instead.
Ryu?
Oh, yeah.
We only have 2 drones here.
He does only have 2 drones. Oh, God.
We'll have to back away.
Yeah, almost losing one of the drones in the process there. I understand the concept, like he does want drones down here to intercept and deny these bunkers from being built, but the bunkers are thrown down. Oh boy. And here come the rest of the boys.
Yeah, 2 is definitely not going to be enough, but this should just about do it. Does deny the initial bunker, but SpeCial is kiting back.
Ooh,
with his Marines taking off as many drones as he can.
That he does. What's important is that the first SCV did go down. The second one is so close as well. Just one more hit is all he needs. And SpeCial is aware of that, so he does micro back. He does just barely keep it alive, but in come the rest of the Lings.
Just like so. SpeCial will not commit to this. He knows that the spine is finishing up as well, so now just plan to go for phase 2, which involves the factory.
Exactly. So thankfully for Ryu, he was able to spot this proxy. He was able to shut it down. It doesn't straight up end the game, and we are going to be continuing from here.
There we are. And SpeCial throws out a natural of his own. Close the barracks is back. Ryu is not quite chasing this down, but he will be going for a little bit of a Ling Scout just to make sure that SpeCial isn't entirely all in. To make sure that SpeCial isn't, you know, bamboozling him.
Exactly. He confirms that the Raxes are being lifted up and are going all the way back home. He also confirms the position of the Marines as well. It's always possible that maybe the Marines are like hidden here at the 3rd base location. They wait for the Lings to leave and then they just dive in and just get a bunch of drone kills. So yeah, Ryu had to just double check and make sure of all of that, and now he's free to expand and take a 3rd.
That's definitely a dream as a Terran player. Pull a bit of a Marine Lord, right?
Oh, interesting. He had the option to take the triangular 3rd, but at the last moment, he thought better of it, and he goes for the more forward 3rd.
That's a vulnerable 3rd base.
Yeah, and he is a masochist. He just wants it to be hard, mate. Oh my god.
Yeah, typically when we do see the Zerg player go for a triangular 3rd there, they want to be aggressive. They want to use that 3rd as more of a launching pad, right? But do you really want to do that in a ZVT?
I mean, this is the more difficult base to take, but it does mean, I remember we say this often, it means that your 4th is safer here, but typically Ryu will expand even further north, so it's like, god damn it. So it means his 5th is safer.
A challenge.
Yeah. And there's a lot of setup required here. Obviously, once the space gets up and running, you need to clear these rocks, otherwise tank pushes are insane.
Really are. And such a good choke point for, I guess a better choke point. Ideally, it's a choke point for the defender, but in this case, when you get some tanks up, the attacking Terran player does kind of become the defender in a way.
Oh boy, exactly. And lo and behold, just like the previous game, Ryu is going for a Roach opener, as we have a Roach one being thrown down, relying on that to begin with. Oh, I love this. We have Burrow as well being researched. Oh.
Ooh. Especially some Tunneling Claws coming out. Another drop here from SpeCial, but this time Ryu is more caught up. Micro Z injured.
The medivac!
Doesn't lose too much here. Oh, the medevac will get taken out with a couple of Marines, but the Hellions eventually make it to the third base. What do we say about how vulnerable this base is?
It is. It's just so open. You can be attacked from any angle. There is a spine here to alleviate that, but as we see, it wasn't enough, and 4 drones went down. But at the same time, the medevac getting sniped? Man, that's pretty big.
Really is. SpeCial has a little bit less map control as he would otherwise like. He technically has a map control with, or the advantage in that map control with his Hellion and with his Marine count, but he's not going to be able to dominate the map, right? He's not really going to be able to keep Ryu back as much as he would like to.
Oh, he's going to try, mate, as he's moving out now that he has his 2 medevacs. Stim is about to finish up as well, so a nice Stim timing here for SpeCial. What do we have to defend? Spine, not in the best location. We have a bunch of Queens. We don't have a Baneling nest. We have a handful of Wings, but where are those Roaches, mate? We need something here at the third.
They're not out yet. The Queens are going to get stimmed down. They have no energy for transfuse. The Lynx try to get us around, but look at that army supply difference. Those Lynx were not going to make a difference. GG. SpeCial takes that series 2-0.
Oof,